What if your name wasn't just a label, but a prophecy? Imagine discovering your own name holds a power you never expected, challenging everything you thought you knew about your future. This story follows a young woman whose destiny was rewritten by the very identity she was given. In a quiet Ghanaian town surrounded by rolling hills and whispering trees, a little girl was born on a night filled with tears. Her father had just died that same evening, and her mother, overwhelmed with grief, named the child Donkorba, child of grief. The villagers shook their heads in pity. She carries her father's death, they murmured. And from her very first cry, sorrow seemed to sit beside her like a shadow that refused to leave. As Donkorba grew, strange patterns followed her life. Goats fell sick after she played near them. Her mother's small shop caught fire twice in 1 year. Whenever misfortune struck, neighbors whispered, "It's her name." Each time someone called out, "Donkorba," she felt something tighten inside her chest, a heaviness she couldn't explain. It was as if every syllable carried pain. So she learned to live quietly. She smiled often, but her eyes carried silent questions. Why did joy never stay long? Why did peace always feel borrowed? Years later, Donkorba became a young woman selling bright-colored fabrics at the marketplace. Her laughter echoed among the stalls, but deep inside, she battled invisible storms. Whenever something good began, a business opportunity, a friendship, even love, it ended suddenly. It was as though an unseen hand kept closing the door just when hope appeared. One afternoon, her friend Essie invited her to a small evening prayer meeting led by Pastor Kweku, a gentle old man known for his wisdom and quiet authority. During prayer, the pastor stopped abruptly. He looked directly at Donkorba, his voice calm but firm. "Daughter," he said, "do you know what your name means?" She hesitated. "Yes, it means sorrow. My mother gave it to remember my father." Pastor Kweku sighed deeply. "And have you ever wondered if that remembrance has become a chain around your life?" His words pierced her heart. She smiled politely but couldn't shake off the weight in his tone. That night, she tossed and turned, unable to sleep. "Has my name become a chain?" she kept asking herself until dawn. The next morning, Donkorba decided to find out. She searched through her mother's old wooden box, the one that smelled of dust and old perfume. Inside were letters, photographs, and a faded journal that once belonged to her late grandmother. Her hands trembled as she read the words written in brown ink. "Henceforth, every daughter born after the death of her father shall be called Donkorba. Upon her life shall the sorrow of her mother be sealed, that the memory of the departed may live through her days." She froze. The name wasn't just a memory. It was a covenant, a silent agreement passed down through generations. Her heart broke as she realized she had inherited pain disguised as love. That night, Donkorba dreamt of a dark river. From the swirling waters came voices calling her name. "Donkorba, Donkorba." Chains wrapped around her feet, pulling her deeper. She struggled to breathe. Suddenly, a bright light pierced the darkness. A calm yet commanding voice said, "I called you before your name called you. You are not sorrow. You are blessing." The chains melted like wax in fire. She gasped and woke up, drenched in tears. Yet her room felt filled with a peace she had never known. For 3 days, she fasted and prayed. Then she returned to Pastor Kweku, desperate for freedom. He listened quietly, then led her in a prayer of deliverance. As they prayed, something broke within her, like an invisible rope snapping. When he anointed her forehead with oil, his voice rang with authority. "From today, you shall no longer be called Donkorba, but Naira, the Blessed One, for God has rewritten your destiny." The room filled with worship and tears. "Donkorba, now Naira, felt a lightness she couldn't explain. From that day, everything began to change. Her business flourished, her laughter returned. Even her mother noticed a peace she had never seen before. One morning, a neighbor called out, "Don Corba!" She turned with a gentle smile and said, "That name died when I found who I am in Christ. Please call me Niera." The name sounded new, yet it carried a peace that drew people toward her. Months later, Naira began a small fellowship for women, teaching about deliverance and true identity in Christ. Many came with stories of names tied to pain, suffering, and death. Ababrese, Antobam, Owo. One by one, they found healing and freedom as they discovered their God-given names and purposes. Nira often said, "A name is a prophecy. When you discover the name heaven calls you, chains break and destinies change." Her story spread far beyond her town. No one spoke anymore of the child of grief. They spoke of Naira, the woman whose new name brought blessings wherever she went. As her testimony was told, her final words echoed with gentle power. In every name, there is a voice. Some names carry pain, others carry prophecy. But when God speaks your true name, destiny is rewritten. If your name, your past, or your identity has chained your future, bring it before God. He still renames destinies, restores stories, and rewrites lives. You are not what they called you. You are who God calls you.